are all the microaggressions that I would no longer have to deal with if the rest of the world wasn't completely obsessed with anti-blackness. It really reminds me of a line in Higher Learning when Busta Rhymes' character said, "They hate me 'cause they ain't me." And that is what this is all about. Number 1, assumptions about my intelligence or capability, expressing surprise at my intellect or articulation. They'll say things like, "Oh, wow, you're smart for a black person." Yes, that has been said to me. They try to portray it as a compliment, but what it is racist and condescending. Yep. Assuming a black person couldn't possibly be more knowledgeable or competent in any way than them, to make you feel as if you don't belong. Number 2, stereotyping behavior or culture, asking questions like, "So, do you rap or play basketball?" Right. Assuming we all do. Or, "You must be good at dancing," or "You're not like other black people." Oh, that's a good one, ain't it? Number 3, assumption of criminality or danger. The Karen who clutches her purse in an elevator or quickly locks the car door when a black person walks by. Or being followed around in a store, which literally just happened to me and my cousins at the mall last week. Or being asked, "Are you lost?" when seen in a nice neighborhood or workplace. Yep. Or calling security or police for made-up, non-threatening behavior just because you don't want us around what you believe is a whites-only area. Or telling a black person that they are too loud or too aggressive whenever we express ourselves. Or asking a black person to calm down in a situation where their reaction is completely understandable and warranted. Right. Number 4, denial of individual racism or bias. Saying things like, "I don't see color," even though y'all made it up. Or, "We're all just human beings." This dismisses the unique experiences and challenges faced by black people due to racism. Or, "I have black friends, so I'm not racist." Or,
that's like the worst thing you can say, by the way.
"Slavery was so long ago. Get over it." Or telling a black person they are too sensitive when they point out racial bias that they have to deal with every day of their lives. Or responding to the Black Lives Matter movement with, "All lives matter." And let's not leave out when they decided to use "Blue Lives Matter" too, when they're not taking the lives of innocent black people. Sure, they matter too. Number 5, objectification. Commenting on the appearance of a black person's hair in any way that suggests it's unusual or strange. "Can I touch your hair?" I cannot quantify the amount of white people that have tried to touch my hair, that have had their hands smacked away from the vicinity of my hair. And I travel the world playing music, so I'm talking about in every country I've ever visited where it's majority white people, they try to touch my hair. And they come up feeling very embarrassed when it is swatted away with every fiber of my being. Step away from my crown, or you will go down. Okay, that rhymed. It wasn't on purpose, I swear.
Step away from the crown or you'll get put down. These are facts. Come on.
As the flow comes out. Number 6, assuming inferior socioeconomic status. Yes, they'll say things like, "Do you live in the projects or the ghetto?" Or they're surprised when a black person lives in an affluent neighborhood.
Right.
Or asking, "How did you afford this car or this house?" The audacity. Number 7, tokenism or speaking for the group. They love asking us, "What do black people think about this?" As if we all share a brain. Or expecting right. a black person to explain racism to them on command as if it is our job to explain what they have done to us. It's like a joke is being played on us all day, every day. Am I being punked? No, you just black. It's like a thief asking you to explain how they came into your house and stole all your stuff, as if they don't remember, as if they weren't there. Number 8 is what happens on this social media site every day. Cultural appropriation. Adopting black cultural styles while criticizing black people for them at the same time. Like how they'll say, all we do is dance around and act ghetto, while simultaneously stealing our dances on this app to monetize so that they can make a profit off of our creativity and originality. Or saying things like, why are you so angry when someone addresses racism? Or praising others for their braids or use of slang,
Right.
but calling black people ghetto for the same verbiage. Or the micro-invalidations, which are dismissing a black person's experiences with, are you sure that happened?
Right.
Maybe you misunderstood.
I hate that. That is the biggest form of gaslighting, in my opinion. I can't stand that.
Telling a black person that they are imagining things or being paranoid about racism, saying things like, y'all always playing the race card, overlooking the fact that it is them who always make it about race. When we enter a room, they made it up to begin with. Race is a human construct, a Caucasian human construct. Y'all made it about race before I was even born. And you have the audacity to tell us that we're making it about race when we have to live with our race, with being black to you and what that means to you every day of our lives. Because what it means to me is fine. I'm fine. I love being black. I love my culture. I love my people. If only I didn't have to deal with the hate coming from everybody else who is not black. And I do mean everybody. Every other culture discriminates against black people, are racist towards black people. And you know it. You know
we can't catch a break, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's tiring. I love this shit, though.
You know it? Because you sit down every year for the holidays with your family and you hear the vitriol in which they use to describe my people.
This is what I was talking about when I was saying how the white culture, their identity is politics. I'm not saying all, right? So remember, when I speak about a specific group, whether it be boomers, white people, black people, anyway, I'm not saying everybody is a monolith, bro. Please understand that. All right? But these things that I'm talking about, I know is pretty spot on for the most part. Most white families, that's all they talk about around Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. They talk about politics. Black families don't do that shit. If I'm lying, let me know. But I know I'm not. Let's go.
Have a hand in anti-blackness. It's so bad that even within our own community, we have other black people that are anti-black. That's how untenable it is. That's how widespread it is. That even our own people have succumbed to the oppressive mindset of anti-blackness. It is important to understand that while individual microaggressions may seem small or insignificant to you, it's because you are small and insignificant. However, their cumulative effect on black people takes its toll and contributes to hostile environments, negatively impacting the mental and emotional well-being of my people. So I take great offense. However, just because we are used to carrying the weight of your insecurities, that doesn't mean we will continue to allow it. It is not our fault that you have nothing else to do with your wasted life than hate black people. It is not our fault that you're not as creative or cool. It is not our fault, and we will no longer placate to your insecurities. The solution to dealing with all this anti-blackness is to find yourself more often with your loving community, That's why it's so important for us to rebuild our community, to get back into community with each other, because it is the only safe haven. It's the only place that we can really build to ensure our safety and our peace. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman. Knowledge is power. Power to the people.
Those little racist microaggressions don't work against me, dog. The minute I think you're trying to do some racist shit, I'm gonna call you out on it. And if you can't stand on it like you a man, you a bitch. So I just left this little job interview, right?
Right.
As I'm leaving the job interview, I'm going to my e-bike. There go my baby right there. So I parked my e-bike in between this pallet and it was another car, okay? So it was in between a pallet and a car, right? As I'm walking toward my e-bike, I hear somebody yell something. Now, I live in Topeka, Kansas. This is an all-red state. This is about as white as it's gonna get. So I hear this, and me being in this state, in this city, I already be on go, dog. So I'm like, what? And I once I said what, or hey, say that again, he didn't want to yell anything. He wanted to shut the fuck up now. So I'm like, okay.
Of course.
I see him laughing and joking with his little friends. I'm gonna walk over here and I'm gonna say something to these motherfuckers. Cause if I'm finna come and work at this job, you not finna be racist and have no little racist jokes. Like, you gonna say that shit to my face. And the minute you do, I'm gonna knock your fucking face off. So it's only white people over here. It's like not one black person. I don't see one black person at all. The one black person I did see, I didn't see her till I was on the way back and she was chilling in her car. But all these people are obviously on their lunch break and they sitting outside on the little benches of the job site. So I'm walking up to him, and as I'm walking up, I can see him start to get scared.
Yep.
I see him getting more nervous. I see him hitting his vape a little bit more as I'm walking up. So I'm walking up, and I'm like, hey, who said that? And I point at some guy, and I was like, was that you? And the guy beside him says, oh, no, that was me. So I was like, yeah, say that again. What was going on?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, as I'm saying this, no, before I said this, I had put my hand out and I was like, well, I'm Tay, it's nice to meet you. And I said, what's your name? And he says, my name is Dave. So I said, oh, okay, what was that you yelled? And he was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I just seen you at my buddy's car.
Of course, like how most of you internet keyboard warriors be in the comments. When I know if you see me, I know for a fact you won't do that. I know. We know. Let's go.
And I just wanted to make sure it was
weak, bro.
Like nothing going on. And I'm like, what did me in the parking lot got to do with your homie's car?
Right.
And he's like, no, it was just you was right beside his car and you looked a little suspicious, so I didn't know what was going on. So I paused for a minute, and I said, ho. What makes me look suspicious? Now, everybody already knew what I was getting at, because as soon as I said it, everybody else, mind you, all white, started laughing. And he's like, oh, no. He was like, I was just saying because you were like right beside his car and I didn't know what was going on.
Right, of course.
And I said, sir, my e-bike is over in this parking lot, but I shouldn't have to explain that to you because you should be minding your business. I was like, on top of that, your homie's car, my e-bike is on the passenger side of your homie's car. So I was like, what, you think I'm about to steal it or something? And he was like, oh, no, that's not what I was saying. That's not what I meant. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, it was nice meeting you, Dave. You have a good one. And as I go to put out my hand again, I see again his hand shaking like a stripper, shaking like, ooh, boy. So as I'm shaking his hand, I'm literally holding his hand and I'm saying, hey, bro, my dad.
All you little internet thugs. It's how y'all be in real life. Y'all don't be how y'all be tough in these comments, bro. Y'all don't.
Always told me if I want to say something about somebody, I always say it in their face.
Yep. Because
as a man, that's what you're supposed to do. And he looks at me and he's like, no, of course, man, of course. And then I say again, yeah, you have a good one, Dave. And I walk the fuck off. Now, as I'm going off, as I'm going to the parking lot, I see Auntie, the only black lady I ever seen, like in the whole place. I see her and she's smiling her ass off at me. Now, I don't know if she's smiling because I'm one of the few black people she's seen here or she just witnessed that whole interaction. But I say that to say, those little microaggressions y'all motherfuckers be on, that shit is not flying over here, dog. This Gen Z, we not on that shit. You come over here with that racist shit if you want to and get your ass beat. Get your fucking face kicked in. Hey. I don't give a fuck if I gotta fight a whole mob. Y'all gonna have to kill me.
It's the
fuck, bruh.
it's the principle of it. Hey, big thanks to these creators. I'm going to leave a link to their profiles in the description. I wanted to make this video about microaggressions because this is something that we experience daily, right? And regularly. And it honestly is quite normal, even though it shouldn't be, right? The amount of y'all gotta excuse, man. I got the neighbor next in the office next door, African dude, and he always yelling, bro. So you might you might hear a little outburst or whatever. But just the microaggressions, you know what I'm saying? Like as I go through the comments, now mind you, I can't read every comment. I try to get to the comments. I can't read every comment, bro. As I'm looking through the comments, right? I would say 95%, and I know, you're gonna have assholes, but 95% the comments are respectful. The my comment section, I want discourse. You know what I mean? People having fun, talking back and forth. But it's always these one or two little worms that want to say some smug shit that they won't say. My whole thing is, I know you wouldn't say it to my face, right? So keep that same energy is all I'm saying. The person that you are in real life, be that same person on the internet, and you probably will be fine. But most of y'all just can't help it. You want to buck up and throw little, anti-black shade and all that other shit. Like I said, I'm built for it. I don't care. It's just the point of I'm trying to remove that from my community as much as possible. Y'all keep bringing that shit over here. I'm telling you that this is not a safe space for shit. Anybody on the far right. Like, I'm not. And then they say, oh, well, you're a left. Motherfucker, I already told you I'm not either. But y'all don't listen to shit. You think just because somebody's not on the right with you that they're on the left. Fuck both sides. I don't care. Right? So stop. And that's another thing with the little microaggression, right? You always try to categorize somebody. You can't just leave people where they at. If I tell you I'm straight, you'll say, oh, well, he's bothered. Something's bothering him. I just told you I'm straight. But y'all don't know how to back off. Y'all don't know how to leave people alone. So, the whole point, like I said, of me making this video was to give multiple, examples of, anti-blackness, the microaggressions that we go through, and the examples. Everything this sister said was spot on. Now, when we get to this video, shouts to my young Gen Z people, man. They got some backbone a lot of us don't got. And I'm not saying us as in me, us as in the rest of y'all that don't, because I do. But he runs down an example, and I actually got a quick story after I get to his spot about something like that and similar. But the whole basis of his thing was, it's not really gonna, it doesn't, you can say, oh, well, if you're responding to it, it gets to you. It's just annoying. It's not like, we're not intimidated. We're not scared. We're not nothing. It's just annoying. You're just a gnat when I'm trying to eat a sandwich outside, bro. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? If I put hands on you, you gonna cry and plead the fifth, right? But if I don't say anything, that's gonna embolden you to want to say more shit. So it's just like, bro, if you are a part of that group of people that don't want to, that you say, hey, you don't like black people, you don't want to be around us, why do you force yourself into situations that involve you being around black people then? You don't have to look at this video or get into my comment section, but I'm pretty sure some of them will. Even though I'm clearly saying what I'm saying, they will still come right into the comment section and try to plant their flag here when I'm telling you this shit is not welcome. And then say, oh, well, shit, black people, da 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 da. You're literally forcing yourself to be in a spot that you're not welcome in. Literally. Like, if I'm allergic to peanuts, I'm not finna go on a tour at a peanut factory. That's just, it's basic common sense is all I'm saying, But, quick story time. This sister, she was talking about, like, people always, hold on, wait.
In any way that suggests it's unusual or strange.
So she had, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other black folk can speak to it. Me, I have waist long dreadlocks. okay, waist long dreadlocks, and whenever I don't have it braided up like I do now, it's all the way down, right? Now, I get some people just have admiration for the culture, and I understand that, but sometimes people get a little touchy. So I was in a store, this is like a year ago, real quick. I was in the store and I'm in the grocery line or whatever. I got like a few things. I'm just standing in the line. I see this, when I walk by this white dude, this white gentleman, I said, "What up, man?" I don't say hello, I don't speak like that. I'm like, "What up, man? How you doing?" He's like, "Oh, good, man. How you doing?" So he walks, he goes the other way or whatever. I get into the line, and I'll say maybe 30, 40 seconds later, um, he comes and he's in the line behind me, right? It's next to the self-checkout. It's not one of those long lines. It's like 20 items, 10 items or less. So I'm just in the line. And I normally, I don't like standing facing forward. I always stand off to the side or whatever so I can see. Like I'm real paranoid. So I don't like people behind me. So, I go from putting my stuff onto the belt and I step over to the side, like this or whatever. So, just like I said, just out of habit, and when I step over to the side, I look down the aisle and I just felt like, yo, some said turn around, right? Not as in like danger or whatever. Some said just turn around. So I just happened to turn around. As I'm turning around, all I see is a white hand doing this, like doing this. So I jumped back and I'm like, I damn near, because I got a box. I used to box, so I jumped back and I kind of knocked his hand and almost went in for a jab at the same time. So it's kind of like he was doing this. I kind of knocked and was finna. I'm like, yo. I'm like, what you doing? He was like, oh man. He was like, man, I just love your hair, man. I just, your locks, your dreadlocks are long and stuff. I was like, yeah. I said, all right, cool, bro, but you don't put your hands on me though. He was like, oh, I meant no disrespect. I'm like, it is disrespectful. You don't put your hands on somebody because you want to. Well, I just wanted to see what they feel like. I'm like, okay, well, grow you some and know what they feel like. You don't put your hands on me though, and the crazy part was, right, I thought, given, that we passed each other in the store, that he was going to be he was cool. He's like, I meant no disrespect. I said, but it's disrespectful though, bro. That's it, even if you didn't mean no disrespect. Now, I said, if the roles were reversed and I put my hands on you, you probably press charges, right? He said, yeah. I said, okay, so if you were standing in line and then the next thing you feel me grabbing the back of your hair, how would you feel about that? Right? He was like, I don't know how I would feel. I said, exactly. Right. But we both know what probably the end result would be. Right. But now I'm in the line explaining this to you, and you're everyone else that's watching this is going to hear my voice inflection, how upset I am. And they're going to try to paint me as the aggressor when you literally are reaching for me. Oh man, I meant no, I'm sorry about that. I meant no disrespect. I say, you know what, bro? That's very dangerous of you to not think clearly for everyone else. It's very inconsiderate, right? But it's the part that was bothersome to me was the fact that you thought you had a right to do that. Why do y'all think you have a right to put your hands on somebody? Because that's what you want to do. Now, if I'd have jabbed him, right, his whole shit would have been busted up and I would have been the bad guy. And I'm pretty sure I left that situation still being the bad guy. You're going to still have some white people that get into the comments and try to justify that bullshit. Bro, the weirdest shit in the world. They're going to try to justify someone trying to put their hands on me. And they're going to say, oh, well, they just took. I don't know if that's how y'all do shit in y'all culture. Our culture, you don't put your hands on somebody. You don't, especially their fucking hair. Nah, that's the crown, son. We don't do that. We're not pets. We're not here for your entertainment and your appeasement. But anyway, right? I'm just talking about that in particular. Now, these microaggressions that, this young man, shout outs to the young Gen Zers, at work or whatever, he's saying like, pretty much like, yeah, everybody wants to be racist and not direct. He's been, I don't think it's I don't think it's wrong for him to be that direct. You kind of have to be the way the world is shaping out to be now. You got to be direct toward people. So I think he handled this situation well, and I think more people need to be like that. If y'all not going to stand on your racism or your little qualms or whatever you say when we're not around, if you can't stand on it when I'm not in front of you, you are a coward. You should not be doing it then. Everything that I say on this YouTube channel, in the comment, I can stand on it all. I can stand on it, right? I have no problem with being wrong, right? I try to do my due diligence when it comes to research, but I have no problem with being wrong. When you are the kind of person that this young man was describing in this video, right? You feel XY, he's going to go get his e-bike, but all of a sudden, he's getting somebody yelling at him because they think, we know they think he's going to do something to the car when his e-bike is next to the car. Like, come on, bro. This is what we're saying. The microaggressions, right? We're not even thinking about that. We're not even on that type of time, but you are. And then we have to counter whatever racist microaggression that you want to put on us in that position. That's crazy. Imagine, right? Go look through the comment section on the previous video. Imagine someone saying something, you respond to them intellectually calm and thorough, but they want to respond and say, "Oh, you're unhinged. I'm unhinged because I answered your question, because I came at you directly as you came at me." Now, you see what I'm saying? The microaggressions. You want to try to paint the picture for it to be a certain way. Cut it out, bro. Stop trying to be a victim all the time. Shouts outs to this young man. Shouts outs to this lady here. Big shouts outs to them. Like I said, a link to their page. They have some really good content. Will be in the description. Make sure you like the video, hype the video. Ayo Bassel TV, like, comment, share. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Peace.